it's Miles McGuire with the Warrior King. Thanks for watching, and thank you so much for all your support and all the things that you've done for the Warrior King. And just hope that you'll continue to support us and keep checking out what we're doing on Facebook and YouTube. And we're getting ready to do some other things too. And as we keep saying, but there's a lot of things happening, and we're thankful. We're thankful to be a part of this, and this is an awesome thing. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I started the Warrior King, and the things that led up to the creation of of this whole thing. And for me, it's always been about the troops, about the soldiers and the guys I served with, and my brothers, and they have a special place in my heart. And it really pains me to see the PTSD stuff, and there's got to be something that I always felt like there has to be something I can do, and to try to do something more than just awareness. We're aware of it. There's time we need to do something about it. And one of the things that I want to do is try to bring these men to Yahweh, at least into His presence, and let them go the rest of the way. Because there's some things you can only just open the door and then make an introduction. It's up to the parties after that to go from there and to make the relationships what they need to be in order to prosper and grow. And but we'll facilitate that any way we can. And we have some messages already up, quite a few videos up so far, and they're doing good things. And some of them are teachings, and some of them are rants, basically. Some of them are podcasts but they're all just stuff that I feel led to bring, and hopefully that you're getting something out of them. And well, this one today, I wanted to go back to the beginning. I wanted to talk to the guys that that suffer with the PTSD, as well as the guys that are they're not really lost out there. They just don't really know what they're looking for. They're in their day-to-day grind, doing what they know to do, and that's what they're doing. And but it's time that we gather together, folks. Especially us guys that have served over there, to know what's going on, and you guys that are suffering this PTSD, it's rough, man. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is mankind has been fighting since there was more than one of us. I mean, Cain and Abel were the first. Cain killed his brother Abel, and that's the beginning. So mankind has been at war constantly, and you figure the old time hand-to-hand battle axes and swords and stuff was a lot more brutal than the stuff that we're doing today. I mean, some of the stuff we're doing today is pretty nasty. Believe me, I've seen it, but it's that hand-to-hand physical. We don't really have to do a whole lot of that this day and age. We do some, but it's nothing like they had to do it. So mankind is used to killing each other. So everybody keeps saying that PTSD is because they had to go. All those guys, our soldiers, had to go there and kill guys. But that isn't the case for most of the guys that I know, or my brothers and friends. It's they suffer from the loss of their friends, and they suffer from the loss of the camaraderie more than anything. Whether they want to pin it on the loss of friends or what have you, but they get back home, back here, and that support system is gone. They no longer have the brothers, somebody that's always with them, somebody that's always taking care of them, looking out for you, always has your back. You know that they do. And it's a big group of guys that always has your back. And when you get back here, there's nothing. There's nothing. And if you're not blessed to have a family to come home to that's got your best interests in mind and in mind, it's a tough road. And I don't know how some of you guys do it, but that's one of the things that we wanted to do here at the Warrior King is anything that we can do to help you guys. If you just need somebody to talk to, somebody to say something to, somebody to build camaraderie with, that's what we're here for. We're trying to bring Yahweh's men back to Him. And we want to do it through camaraderie, through, getting together and doing things together. We've got a few guys that are getting together, but it's not what we need. We need to get a bunch of you guys together so you can see, so we can, create these bonds and know that there's still somebody that will always have your back. And then we're doing it for this time, we're doing it for real. Whereas, we went over there last time. We're basically, and everybody is probably going to get up in arms with me, we're basically mercenaries because we were just going out for, just the interest of the banks and whomever. Like we had about as much business going into Iraq as we did going into Vietnam or any other place. It's just the politics. Saddam Hussein was getting ready to put Iraq on the gold standard and pull them off the petrodollar. That's why we went over there. The same thing with Muammar Gaddafi. Same thing. And, the whole Osama bin Laden thing, that was just a farce. They needed a boogeyman because they needed to spin up this perpetual war machine that never ends. Never, ever ends. There's no end in sight to any of this. They just keep spinning up boogeymans. When he's gone, then Al-Qaeda came along. When Al-Qaeda's gone, now ISIS is here. And it never ends. It never ends. But what they've done, and I don't think they realized what they were doing when they did it, is they actually trained a lot of Yahweh's men to be warriors. And they've trained us. We get the training from the finest military that's ever been established on this earth, the United States military. And it's the best of the best, and it always has been. And it's the American fighting man has always been the greatest fighting man on the planet. And I don't care who says what, you can't back it up because we've been the big dog on the block for a very long time. And so that's where we are with that. And it's time that we need to start gathering together. And there's a war that is coming. And it's coming. And if you don't believe me, just flip on right now. If you watch this within the next couple days, the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is on. And if you want to see what the face of our enemy looks like, just flip that on and watch that for a little bit. There is not an American flag in that place. There is not one word spoken of patriotism to this nation. So, that's who's going to come after us. But they think this is about a nation thing, whereas what we're transitioning into, in all intents and purposes, the United States is no longer what it once was. It's no longer what it was when I took my oath to defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic. But it's gone. There's nothing. I mean, it just gone. Over the last 8 years, it's collapsed out from underneath us. It's a horrible thing, and it's gone so quick, and you just get, that's the problem with being back in civilian society. Is you get wrapped up in trying to make a living for your family that you don't have time to do anything else. I mean, we are almost driven into a form of slavery, a bondage, now with the way our system works out. Because, almost every family has to have, both spouses working, the kids go to school or a daycare, so somebody else is raising your children, and you're just barely making ends meet to have the stuff that you think you need to have. And, but all this is getting ready to change. There's getting ready to be an event, and I don't know what this event is, but you can it's coming. I've been getting warnings here from, just the strangest places lately. I've got friends of mine that are having crazy dreams and stuff, and I'm like, it's getting a lot closer than I anticipated it was. I knew it was getting close, because, it's always, you always feel something's coming, but the level of intensity has been cranked up here the last little bit, and I hope, and, and I pray that, a year from now, I go back and watch this one on YouTube, and I'm like, that was, it was nothing. It was just I don't know what it was. Maybe Yahweh just spared us. Who knows? But my thing to you men is, look at that Democratic National Convention. And is that what you want to serve? The other side of this is the Donald Trump stuff, and I don't know. He ain't gonna do anything. If he tries to do anything opposite of the controllers of this world, they'll kill him. And so he's gonna go along with the mold, just like everyone else. But we're getting ready. An event's coming that's going to awaken the people, and they're going to realize who they are, what they're doing, and what their purpose is. And Yahweh is calling His men. He's calling us, and He's calling you men out there with that are suffering from these things, that think that your life has no purpose and no meaning. It does have purpose. It does have meaning. You were put over there for a reason and for a purpose. It's time for you to wake up, realize what that purpose was. And that purpose was He was training you to go into battle for Him. And this is going to be an amazing, amazing event. And I know I've talked about this before, but I can't stress this enough. You know, a lot of guys come back with the PTSD and they get, there's no fight left. There's nothing to train for. There's no fight left to get ready for. There's nothing, no event coming where you feel like you're useful anymore. Because, it's kind of interesting, I put that on, my wife helps me do my resume. And I get to my military career, and she says, okay, how do you want me to write this on your resume? And there's only so many ways that you can put on a resume that you've been trained, basically, just to kill people. I mean, my entire military training was to how to shoot and kill the dude across from me. And how do you put that on a resume for a job in the civilian world? Working at it just like a plant or something. How do you put on, I want a job here, and what are your qualifications? Well, I know how to kill everybody into place. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure they want a whole lot of us in there, but this event that's coming is something that we've been trained for. We know what we're doing. We know how to do it, and it's going to come. And I want to talk, with some of the prior videos that I've done, if you go back and watch some of those, you get into the verses of Scripture that talks about what happens to Yahweh's people. And I've got the blessings from Deuteronomy 28 that I'm going to read here in just a minute. It's just a few. And this tells you why. We're going to, why it is that it's so important for us to choose the side. There's only two sides to this thing. And if you want to see what the other side looks like, just watch the Democratic National Convention. You will see pure evil on display at this place, just lying through their teeth. It's a disgusting display of hypocrisy and bull. Period. That's what it is. So the other side of that is good. And a lot of Christians will say, well, you can't kill anything because the Bible says don't kill. No, the Bible says don't murder. It doesn't say anything about killing. There's a whole lot of killing going on in the Bible. And we're going to have to do a whole lot of killing. We're going to have to do a whole lot of cleaning. And so, but it's going to be worth it in the end because the reward for this is staggering. But the interesting thing is, one of the things why I find so much comfort in reading Scripture is the kingdom of Yahweh, the kingdom that we're promised in the end, of those who are faithful and do and follow His commands and do what He tells us to do. The reward in the end is a place of paradise, basically. It's the Muslims got their 72 virgins and all this stuff, but Yahweh has His peace. We no longer have to fight, but we, being the warrior class, are not shunned. We're not put away. We're not put off. We are the ones that lead everything. We are the ones that He finds confidence in. That's just the way the Bible reads. When you read it, His warrior class men are the ones that are in charge of everything. They get first pick of everything in the land. They get first dibs on everything. So His warrior class men, there is a reward for doing the wickedness that we must do. Or that's not even, I don't think it's wickedness, but it's I guess it would be considered, I don't know what the correct term would be for when you have to go through and annihilate groups of people because they are trying to kill everything and destroy everything that you know. I don't know what, I guess that's just conquering. We're conquering, so. But that's where it's a pretty eye-opening experience. But it allows us to use a skill set that we've acquired from the United States military to do wondrous good for the greater good, for Yahweh's good. And but I wanted to read real quick. Let me read. This is Deuteronomy 28. In case you don't ever, if y'all don't have a Bible, just let us know and we'll get something out to you. We'll figure out something. But this is the blessings for the people who keep the commands for the Most High. Just listen to these. There's not but 10 or 12. There's a lot more than that, but I just got the ones that you really don't need any more than that. All right, I'm going to read the blessings from Deuteronomy chapter 28. And it shall be, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh Elohim to do all the commands which I command you today, that Yahweh Elohim shall set you high above all nations on earth. Above all nations on earth. So you'll be the top. And all of the blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in, and blessed are you when you go out. Yahweh causes your enemies who rise against you to be smitten before your face. They come against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Yahweh commands the blessings on you in your storehouse and on all which you set your hand, and bless you in the land which Yahweh your Elohim has given you. This is what it's all about, is going back to that land and laying siege to it. Yahweh does establish you as a set-apart people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you guard his commands of Yahweh your Elohim and walk in his way. What are his ways? We've got the videos. Go back and read the earlier videos. And all the peoples of the earth shall see that the name of Yahweh is called upon you, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you have plenty of what is good, in the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your livestock, and the fruit of the ground, and the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give you. Yahweh opens to you to his good treasures, the heavens, to give the rain in your land in the seasons, and bless all the work of your hand, and lend to many nations, and borrow from none. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail. You'll always be in the front. You'll always be on the top. And you shall only be on the top and not beneath, if you obey the commands of Yahweh Elohim, which I am commanding you today. And do not turn aside from me the words which I am commanding you, right or left, or go after other mighty ones, or anything other than him. So that's the blessing. It's to be the greatest nation that the world has ever seen. And it's to be a part of that. To be a part of that. It reminds me of what we always thought it was to be part of the United States. Because you always assumed that the United States was the greatest. It was the freedom, the freedoms to do as we choose to do, the freedoms to live how we choose to live. But all that is gone now, and our next chance at freedom, our next chance at pure peace is through Yahweh. And without it, there's nothing left for us. I mean, we get what this new world order crap that they talk about, where everybody is in slavery and bondage, and they want to kill everybody but 500 million people, and those are only the choicest elect, and they want to merge with machines and somehow live forever. It's kind of a nightmare scenario that some dark hole somebody thought up, and that ain't what I want. I want what this talks about. This is what I want. This is, I want my child to be raised up in a place where an enemy is so petrified to come against us that I never have to worry about my little one being ambushed or shot in a movie theater or stabbed to death in the street or any of this other crap that's going on today. I don't have to worry about my wife, and because the laws in the land. If you understand what it is that he's telling us, then you understand the magnitude of this and how awesome this is. It's so great. But you men out there, we've got to band together, and we've got to start getting ready for this thing, because this is coming, and it's coming now. I always thought we had years and time, and we don't have any time. I mean, the course of events is set in motion, and it's time. It's time for us to get ready. And if you need, that a lot of us, even myself, I haven't worked out much since I've gotten home from the service. I worked out a little bit, just trying to get back in shape, just because I got tired of being sore all the time. Always tired when you do anything, But the motivation, if you need motivation to do something, if you need motivation to get back in shape and hit the gym, and I'm not talking about just hitting the gym, I'm talking about hit the gym. You know what I'm talking about. The days, training days, and what it used to be like when you used to get ready to go over yonder. We need to get back into that mode. And it's time to train. To train. It's trying to train like you're going to fight. And because our lives are going to depend on it. Our children's lives are going to depend on it. And I have a feeling it's going to be a little different when we fight with Yahweh, because it's going to be a interesting ride, to say the least, because it's going to be something that we can't imagine what the magnitude of this event, how it's going to play out. But he needs his people, he needs his men, he needs his warrior men, and you know who you are. And so it's time, if you're down in the dumps, it's time to pull yourself back up. Just pull yourself back up. Get up on your feet. Start training. If you're homeless and you need a place to stay, if you need all this stuff, just go to your local church and knock on the door. They'll let you in. They always do. I mean, that's kind of what they're there for. I know I'll bash Christianity sometimes, but they have a good heart. And, they're not on board with this whole conquering the promised land bit. They think that, Jesus is going to come snatch them up out of the day and they're going to be just taken into heaven. But I don't read that anywhere in my Bible. But we're going to have to go take what we have. We're going to go take it. It's our inheritance. That land over there is our inheritance. We're going to go take it. It's ours. It's ours. And it's time. It's time to stop messing around. It's time to get back on it. It's time. It's time. We need to gather together. It's time. But that's all I'm going to do for today. I don't want to... I'm still kind of distraught with this whole, how the United States is going. I never thought in my lifetime we would see it degrade to the point that it has, but it's wow, what a mess. What a mess. And so all you men out there that are disgruntled the same as I am, just start training. Start training. Damn all this stuff. Get in there and hit them weights. Get on that road and start running. Put that ruck back on. Get out to the rifle range. Make sure that rifle works. And all you people out there that buying all these guns and stuff and saying, I'm going to shoot this, I'm going to shoot that. Listen, it don't make you an artist because you own a decent paintbrush. You got to get after it and do it. So train, folks. We're running out of time. It's time to train. If you want it, we're going to start doing some training. That's the great thing about the Feast of Yahweh, the Feast of Tabernacles. We're going to get together and do some training. If anybody wants to get with us, let us know. Get with us. We want to do some training. All you boys out there with all this combat experience and all this stuff, let's get together. Let's get used to one another, and it won't take us long. It won't take us but a minute, but some of the stories I've read in Scripture, it don't take many for Yahweh's men to decimate a place. 300 or less, a lot of times. The Israelites went into the Promised Land the first time with over 1 million soldiers, and they just devastated that place. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. And we're going to be part of this. This is the stuff that will be written in the books. 1,000 years from now, our great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will be reading about this. And it all starts today. So get in there. Start training. Start training. So with that, Yahweh always tells his armies to be strong and courageous, even in the days ahead. We're going to have to be strong and courageous. And I want to read one more verse. I wasn't going to do it earlier, but I'll read it. It's Joel 2:32. And it shall be that everyone who calls on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. Remember that. So if you get backed into a hole, remember to call on his name. Call on the name of Yahweh. He will deliver you. I know in my heart he will, because he's delivered me so many times. And he's delivered you. If you're watching this and you've been over there, he's delivered you too. And you know that he has. So let's get on with this and be strong and courageous in all that you do. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you.